okay, so the 24 William Byron with Chad Knaus calling the shots. It kind of feels like something's brewing here, Steve.
It does, and I happen to disagree with Parker. So I have seen steady improvement out of William Byron. I think that I am in the bucket of moving up too quickly. The business side of NASCAR drove William Byron to the cup level, not his career. Even though he was a champion, he contended for a championship in the trucks, moved up, drove Your Stuff Jr., won a championship. But I think we would all agree, we've had this discussion, that the XFINITY Series, another year would not have hurt the young man, but the business side moved him up. I think what Hendrick Motorsports has done a good job of is allowing him to mature at that level, understanding that maybe it was the Joey Logano case, right, a little early to the season. So I don't agree with Parker. I have seen some steady improvements. I've seen steady improvements out of Hendrick Motorsports lately with Alex Bowman's run. Chase Elliott's win, even though it was Talladega, I think helps with momentum. So I think this poll means a big deal. I really think Chad Knaus and William Byron are trying to figure out, all right, what does this young man need? What do I need to give him? This poll right here, in my mind, is a big deal for this 24. I think they can really propel to something better.
Yeah, this is sort of, you're seeing this across other sports as well, the one and dones and all that. So it's a process. It's a product of the system that he got moved up so quickly. But William Byron can be winning and championship race car driver in the Cup Series. There's no doubt about it. It's that the question that I had was, would Chad Knaus be patient enough to allow that to develop? And Chad as well, I think he's the key to this. If you look at over the last couple of years with Jimmy, they struggled to find speed in their cars. And I know this is an entirely different race car that they're dealing with today, but I've got to give Chad a lot of credit because in qualifying, it's all about that race car. William really doesn't do anything.
I mean, they're all wide open, right? Yeah.
So you got to give Chad and his group the credit to be able to find that type of speed. That pole is going to give William a lot of confidence. And if Chad can be patient to let William figure out these races and how to put together races, then those two together can win a lot, and they can win some championships.
I've known Chad Knaus a long time, and we talk about drivers maturing, and I don't think it's fair to say Chad's maturing, but he is changing. He is not the same Chad Knaus of 10 years ago.
He did become a father.
Yeah, married, father.
I know that, it's a bit of a joke, but seriously, like that can really change you. And he's with a driver that's on a completely different page than
I feel
Jimmy
like you're
Johnson.
speaking from experience.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That'll change you a lot. I mean, I'm just worried about, he's coming from a 7-time champion to this kid. Can he be patient? It's going to be a completely different experience for Chad.
But the thing, you talked about it there, was the fact that, to me, it's not bad moving up too early if there's the expectation level like, hey, you're here for a while. Yeah, we know.
You have time to learn.
Jeff Gordon wrecked how many cars his first year?
A lot.
A ton, right? So that's the thing. And let's be honest. Team Hendrick, in general, last year, they didn't have the speed until really the second half of the season when Chase Elliott started kind of winning some races. And we saw at the beginning of this year, they didn't have a lot of speed. And all of a sudden, over the last, 3 to 4 races, consistently, all those cars are faster. So I'm fine with him moving up when he did. If Mr. Hendrick's like, hey, we got 5, 6, 7 years. This isn't a one year, and if you don't do anything great, you're out. Daniel Suarez, that felt like the pressure at Joe Gibbs Racing. It was like, okay, he didn't perform the first year, second year, we need to figure out something. So Williams finding it. He's making gains, as you said, and just anytime, whether it's the car that Chad put together and that team found, anytime you get the pole, especially for the Coca-Cola 600, it gives you confidence as a group.
When you talk about storylines, there are so many here in Indianapolis. Chad Knaus was a pit crew member when Jeff Gordon won with the 24 at the Coca-Cola 600. When he was promoted, he said it was his dream to crew chief a 24 car. That was a car he grew up on. If he could take William Byron and the 24 to victory lane with someone other than Jeff Gordon, what could be a better story?
You know him really well. How many years does Chad have on top of the pit box?
Well, I think it depends on how much they win.
Hey, what about the fact if William Byron could win the Coke 600 and Colton Herta at 19 wins the Indianapolis 500?
Hey Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.